Pyromancer or Faerie Vandal. Try to put a Curious Obsession on it. Our Sprite Dragon bigger. That was really good. So the deck, it works if you especially... Welcome back to another video, my friend. I'm Blake, and you're you, and this is Budget Izzet Spellslinger for Explorer. Now, this deck was crafted with 0 rares for all of you folks trying to play an Izzet deck that don't have any rares, just like myself. Those things are hard to come by, but this deck will be a fantastic start if you like blue and red and you want to get started in Explorer. So let's break down this list, and I even went with no rare or uncommon lands just to really make a point. So starting off with the very basic land base, we've got just 20 lands in this super low to the ground, unless you count our Jwari Disruptions, we're up to 22. So we've got 4 Saltwater Cliffs, and then we are going into 8 and 8 Island and Mountain Split with 2 Jwari Disruptions. Now, all of our main game winners are at the 2-drop slot in this deck. As you can see, extremely low to the ground. It's very much a tempo control deck. It's trying to get into flyers. Mostly, we're looking at the Sprite Dragon. This is blue-red for 2 mana total, flying and haste. It's a 1/1, but whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Obviously works really good with a big suite of instants and sorceries that we're running. We also have 4 Young Pyromancer, 2 mana 2/1. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. So you can see where this is going. And then our other creature is a Faerie Vandal. 4 copies of this, flash, flying, 1/2. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Faerie Vandal, and you go from there. So we are trying to combo our air threats of the Sprite Dragon and the Faerie Vandal with a lot of instants and sorceries, plus the Young Pyromancer to make a super wide board is going to be really good for us. Now, we obviously need some instants and sorceries to do that. The only one that we have is not 1 or 2 mana, is basically 2 mana because it's Winged Words. It's 3 mana, draw 2 cards, but if you control a creature with flying, which we will pretty often, it costs 2 mana instead. Then we have our 4 counterspells. The only 4 counterspells in the deck are Lofty Denial. This is counter target spell unless its controller pays 1, but if we control a creature with flying, you can see the combo there, counter that spell unless its controller pays 4 instead. Quite good. The other 2-drop slot is 2 Scorching Dragonfires for removal. This is 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and if it would die, you exile it instead. So it's extremely good in the Greasefang matchup. We also have 2 Plays with Fire. I like this card because it's 1 mana, and it can either take care of a small little mana dork if you need to, or when you're trying to push through that extra little damage, or even just set up some early game land drops, you can deal it to face, and you get to scry 1, so that's good. 4 copies of Opt, it's just scry 1, draw 1. And then here's a funny one that you don't see very often. I'm testing out 2 Mantle of Tides. Equipped creature gets +1/+2, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, which we're already trying to do, you get to attach the Mantle of Tides to target creature you control. So it's just effectively 1 time, 1 mana, and then as long as you continue to keep a creature with flying out, or any creature, you can give it +1/+2, which is pretty darn good on our already growing Faerie Vandals and Sprite Dragons. We have 2 Fading Hope for that removal / tempo play. It just bounces a creature to its owner's hand. Can also protect any of our creatures if we're in a situation where we only have 1 creature we're trying to keep alive. 4 Curious Obsession, very big in the deck. This is important. Listen to this. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't attack with a creature this turn, you have to sacrifice it. So it is a little bit risky, but particularly on the Faerie Vandal and the Sprite Dragon, because they're growing all the time, it's not that hard to have favorable attacks where even if you can't get through for damage, they don't die. And then also 4 copies of Consider. So look at the top card of your library. You can basically surveil. You get to either leave it there or put it in the graveyard, and then you draw a card. So that is the deck. 0 rares. Very good Izzet Spellslinger deck. Let's jump into some games so you can see what I'm talking about when I say that this deck is no joke. Okay, I think we're off to a pretty decent start here. On the play is always fantastic. We've got both colors. We've got a Sprite Dragon to work with. I think this is a perfectly keepable hand. You do see we are at the start of a new season here currently. So we're in gold, which is probably a fine place to be for this budget deck. It can show off what it can do against a bunch of rogue, really random, weird stuff. But it is early, so we're probably also going to have some decent opponents already in gold as well. So we see the tap land. That's great. Go ahead and opt. 3rd Island. I don't actually hate seeing that right here. And on the play, we're going to take a risk. I'm not saving Jwari Disruption just yet. We'll save that for their 3-drop, potentially, depending on what we see. Boros could be running like Illuminated Virtuoso. Okay, they could also be going Mardu. trying to play the Croxa play. So this will be a bit of a tough decision. I think what I'm leaning towards is putting down a land and then passing. We don't really want to risk them playing some huge play. Now, if they do play a land and play the Croxa, that could be a pretty big problem. Ooh, it's Lotus Field. I forgot that that's a thing. Yeah, that's insane. So they just effectively ramped 2. So that's just fantastic for them. And then we'll put down another Sprite Dragon and then hope that we have enough that we can counter whatever it is they've got coming. Because that was pretty epic. Strict Proctor into a Lotus Field is really hard to beat. Another one. Yikes. And that you cannot interact with either, so it's really tough. Luckily, they are out of mana, so we get to disrupt the Teferi. That's pretty great. Make our Sprite Dragon bigger. That's wonderful. Love that. Perfect. And then we get to put the Obsession on a dragon and start hopefully drawing cards. I mean, they do get 1 block here, but then they've gotten both 2 Lotus Field down, so they've really gotten their value out of Strict Proctor. So they probably could have just blocked, but it looks like they have some other play they're wanting to make here as well. Okay. What are the odds that we need a Jwari Disruption and a Lofty Denial? I say it's probably pretty slim. So I feel like we go ahead and draw cards now, make these bigger on the sorcery speed, and then just plan to do 1 Lofty Denial. I think that's the play. Because they also just have so much mana, it doesn't seem like they're going to have any trouble playing whatever they need to. They're going to have exactly 3 left over. That's fine, because we're going to make them pay an extra 4 for this Teferi. So that felt wonderful. I think we might have come back from this. They still get a 3-drop or below if they have it. If they're running these Teferis, it's probably mostly a Planeswalker deck. Or not. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Faith Down Judge has 2 or fewer judgment counters, put a judgment counter on it. If it has 3 or more, it can attack as though it didn't have defender. So it's just a giant 4/4 defender for the moment. Yeah, we'll put that down. We'll put down our Pyromancer and start swinging in. It's not bad. Okay. Gonna take that trade, and they're gonna take that trade. Okay, so we are feeling good. Lofty Denial is going to be a clutch card here. We can even make it up to add to 5. Excellent. That's totally fine. We can handle that, and that's probably just going to be a win for us, I feel like. That was really good. So the deck, it works especially if you're on the play. It's really hard for them to deal with. And let's just go ahead and stop this, just to purely seal the deal here. And we are off to a great start. Let's see if this deck can roll just as well in game 2. Awesome. Okay. I think you really do want to look for one of your creatures in the opener. So I think the things you're looking for is one of your creatures, and especially if you have both colors, I think you're fine to keep. And in this case, even more so, because opting allows us to kind of set up, dig a little deeper, potentially even Fading Hope something. So they're playing Eater of Virtue. So they're going to be doing maybe some kind of sacrifice deck. I think in this case, we do take another land. Red doesn't help us as much though, so I think we'll pass on a red source. See what else we can find. Ooh, Faerie Vandal. What's better here, Pyromancer or Faerie Vandal? I mean, I could Lofty Denial whatever they have, but I kind of like getting out the Pyromancer early to go wide, and then we can hold up Faerie Vandal and hold up Lofty Denial next turn. And that's actually fine. I think I'd rather lose that. We're going to do the same thing again. Now they do get to play their 3-drop, so maybe I should have held off here. 3-drop can have a lot of powerful stuff. Okay, Rabbit Battery I'm not too worried about. It's fine. No, we can just block with the Elemental later. Interesting choice. I think we go ahead and take our 2 damage and then wait until next turn, because we've got all kinds of options. We can play anything on their turn except the Tides. So if they play a big threat at like a 4-drop, we'll certainly probably Lofty Denial. We also have the option of Fading Hope here. I think I want to hold... 3 damage is not the end of the world to us right now. So I kind of want to wait and see if I'm interested in using the Lofty Denial if they play a 4-drop here. And if not, we've always got the Faerie Vandal as a backup. So it's a knight deck. Other knights get +1/+1. You can have that for now. We can always bounce it and create a favorable combat for us. And then also a Crusader. I think for now, more than anything, I'm interested in getting my own Faerie Vandal out, turning on the Lofty Denial even more effectively. That's great. Now, I'm considering if I need to put down the Tides here. This also wants me to draw a card, so I could... Having not all blue is a little awkward here. I think I want to be able to hold up a Fading Hope on their turn. I kind of want to make this bigger, so let's do this. Let's draw here first. Make our token, we'll make that bigger. Another red is not that helpful, actually. We got a lot of blue sources in hand. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I want the option to Fading Hope and or... So we're going to go ahead and get our 2 damage in here. So we're going to hold up Fading Hope or Lofty Denial is the play. That hurts us both. I like that the Rabbit Battery dies to an elemental now. That feels great. And I like being able to bounce something here. 1 less for each knight. Creatures you control get +1/+1. And whenever they cast a legendary spell, it's a 6 mana spell that's reduced. It's going to create a bunch of knights. I think that's worth the 9. That seems like that's going to be a lot. They probably have some legendaries in there. Also gets us another token. Perfect. I'll take that. Take 5. Sure. It's no problem with me. Blue. Blue, blue, blue. I think we put down a Sprite Dragon to get another threat out. And then we're going to plan to use that Fading Hope to our benefit here. Really don't want to block with that, so we're just going to attack like this. We'll race them. Especially with the Stormfist Crusader. If I can get them to die on their own Crusader, that'd be awesome. First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Aura, and Equipment cost less. You got it, go ahead. I don't really mind them equipping that. They can just bounce it later. Wow. They are just going super aggressive here. And a Fervent Champion. Okay, that's interesting. Does this have haste? Ooh, that does have haste. Okay, so we are going to have to bounce that. But that's fine. We got that. Ooh, that's also a lot of lifelink. This is the bigger problem, though. I gotta get rid of that. Don't want that. That lifelink is really unfortunate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna try to win on our next turn. So we can take the 4. Block like so. Ooh, that had trample. Wow, I did not even pay attention, and I think I just got super duper lucky. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Well then, let's see if we can get enough damage in. I think we do have it. I think I should have dropped down the Tides though first. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's going to deal 1 to them on their upkeep. Plus, we can keep doing shenanigans like this. Just get bigger. I think we got it. And we got another game. Very well done. We barely lived, but we made it out. Let's keep rolling. 2-0. Alright, just an unkeepable with no blue available. So we're going to mulligan this right away. Do love the art for Curious Obsession, though. If you are enjoying this video, please consider subscribing if you made it all the way to this point. Play nothing but Explorer content on the channel. Now, I know subscribing isn't honestly that important on YouTube anymore, but they do still keep getting paid as a creator behind 1,000 subscribers. So that is my goal I'm reaching for, is 1,000 subscribers. So if you're interested in helping me out with that, I would truly, truly appreciate it. In this case, because everything is 2-drop or lower, we're just going to get rid of a mountain. We'll draw one eventually. But if you could subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, and it genuinely helps out the channel at this small, early stage. So thank you. Early Thoughtseize, probably my most hated card to see turn 1. It just is so obnoxious and so good. They get rid of our 1 creature. Luckily, we do draw another creature. That's pretty helpful. actually pretty helpful here. So not mad that we got another creature at least. Traded 1 for 1 for their Thoughtseize and 2 damage. We'll go ahead and opt now. You know what? I think I will take the Cliffs. Set up the mana. We're going to put that down now, and then we can Lofty Denial if we need to, or flash in that Vandal. Feels like a good option to have. Okay, Field of Ruin, so they're probably mono black. We'll flash in Faerie Vandal, and then they'll probably kill it with some kind of kill spell, I'm guessing. But we shall see. Yep, not surprised there. That's fine, we got them to play it on their turn, though, and we know what's coming now. Put in the Cliffs, and say go. If they don't play a land, I think I would counter that. But it's not that big of a threat. Draw a card. Enchanted land loses all abilities and has tap. So it just makes it colorless. And it's going to draw them a card. I'm willing to stop that. Oh, no. That was so dumb. Misplay. It only costs 2 mana, you idiot. I'm so dumb, guys. I literally just gave them a free card. I don't know if we can come back from literally just discarding a card after already mulliganing. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Well, let's see if we can get super lucky and dig out of a literal brain dead play by me. Okay. You can honestly have that one. I'm not that worried about it. Do whatever you need to. If we can draw a creature and a Curious Obsession, that's pretty much the only way. We'll take that to draw 2. It's pretty much the only way I can see getting out of this. They're trying to take away all our blue sources, which makes perfect sense. Auto pay, we'll pay the life. Oh, that is brutal. We'll go ahead and see if they can find another blight. Luckily, if they do ever play a creature, we get to bounce it, and that's sad because that's gonna beat us for sure. There's just no way we come back from this. They get to just. Oh, they're not even putting anything in hand. Okay. Now I'm confused why they're not. Okay, if we draw a creature after that, though, that could be something. We'll keep that mountain just in case they want to make us discard. Sometimes black can do that. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do the -2 to start with.
My grief fuels my
And then they go get. Okay, I was really expecting an Aetherflux Reservoir. Maze Mountain Tone isn't that fantastic. I guess maybe they're straight artifact mono black. So, sure. Okay, we just have to draw a creature is literally all we need to draw. Fading Hope doesn't do anything if all they're playing is artifacts, though, so. I'm not sure what their game plan is here. They might be a bad enough deck we can come back. Are they going to Field of Ruin our island? That doesn't really help them, though. Choose a card name other than a basic land card. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of that card. If that player shuffles, then creates a 2/2 for each way. So they're going to go get, like, they're going to name probably Young Pyromancer. Ooh, Lofty Denial. Good choice. So they get all of our Lofty Denials. That's our only counterspell, so that's pretty interesting. Necromancia. Good for you. I guess they're just trying to really stop whatever combo they have going on here. Are they going to go get Aetherflux Reservoir? Were they just worried we're going to counter it? Surely it's an Aetherflux Reservoir. Cosmos Elixir is also good. Okay. Sure. They're taking their time here. Feels like they should have won already, but we're going to play it out. I'm a big fan of playing it out. They haven't proven to me they've got enough to actually beat me yet. So, I mean, they've got a full hand of cards to kill whatever I bring in, but if they can't beat me, I'm going to at least make them sit here and play for 30 minutes more than they needed to. That's my payback to them. Okay, that's good. Now, the awkward thing is I don't really want to Fading Hope that, because then they just get a kill spell back in hand. Young Pyromancer. If this can survive, we can do something. It probably won't survive, though. No way this thing survives. Luckily, we can actually save it ourselves. So that's going to try to put a Curious Obsession on it. Great, let's go ahead. Of course, but we're going to save it ourselves. See if they've got enough. Oh, they can go get another black. I bet they've got it. I bet they've got another black and another Fatal Push. That's what I think they have. We're at least going to get a 1-1 out of it. Oh, wow, March. Okay. Yeah, you do you, man. Hey, we made our 1-1. Cheers to you, bro. If they attack out with this Rider and don't put up any blockers, we at least get to put the Obsession on the Elemental and draw a card, which is hilarious. So, I can't wait to see their win con. Maybe we're on a 39-turn deck them out clock. That could be fun. Okay, they did not allow me to have that as an option, so we'll opt looking for a creature. That's not good enough. It's got to be a creature, I think. Blue is fine. Pass. Wait for them to make a real play. Okay, what are they revealing? Etherflux Reservoir. Gotta be, right? Lithoform Engine. Maybe this is the game winner? Lovely card. Very fun if you get to do the thing. I'm just not sure what the thing is they're trying to do. Oh, nice. Nice job. Get rid of my Curious Obsession. I'm genuinely so confused what their play is. Maybe they're just trying to play a long enough game that everyone concedes against them. See if they've got another kill spell. Of course they do. It's Removal Tribal they're playing. I'm in it now. I'm not conceding. I'm in it. Somchai Boom Camp, Boom Bap, you are playing this game to the end. It's your fault for building this deck that doesn't have a win con, so you have to deal with the consequences. Okay? Okay. They literally have not done any damage to me except for these Lithoform Blights. It's hilarious. You can attack with your Murderous Rider now. You know I've got the Mountain in hand. Okay, I guess this is a play. Why aren't they turning anything into a creature? I'm so confused and tired and bored. But we're going to play it out. I've committed too hard at this point. They're copying the life gain. What in the world is this? What in the world is this? This is miserable. I can't let them get away with it for free, though. I will not concede. I will not concede. Well, feel free to pass ahead to the next game if you're bored to death like I am. They don't have a win con. It's amazing. They're copying Soul Guide Lanterns. Why? 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 Why are you doing this? It's terrible. Just sitting here, bored, hoping to die sooner than what they're doing.
Allow me to introduce you to a friend.
I'm so confused. Isn't the plus make these into a creature if he wants to? Until your next turn, up to one target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its mana value. Can't you just turn even the elixir into a 4/4? Okay, consider. Excellent. Draw me a card. Show me a creature. Sprite Dragon. Excellent. We'll take it. He's got 5 cards in hand. I'm sure he has a kill spell. Let's see the kill spell. Gotta draw that kill spell. Sure. Can't let him have 1 point of damage in. It'll be backbreaking. You know what? Let's hit Karn. Let's hit Carney. What I really need is a Curious Obsession to hit 3 or 4 times. But I've already lost 1, 2, 2 of them. Okay. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to give it to him. I'm just too bored to waste my time with this. Let's get one more game that's maybe a little more exciting. Okay, now this one is awkward. We have the 2 creatures, but double tap land, 3 creatures. Double tap land is unfortunate, but I think we can make it work. We'll start with the Swiftwater Cliffs, and then we can put down that Jwari if we need to, if we don't draw a second land. Drawing a second land would be ideal, because it lets us play this and hold this up as a spell. But sometimes that doesn't happen, and you just have to play a turn behind everybody else. But then we get to hold up a Consider, or even a Play with Fire. If they put down like an elf, like an elvish, like a Llanowar elves, I would hit it, but otherwise that's fine. We will take the Consider Island. I will take another island at this point. Excellent. Modern Age is going to become a flyer later, though. Let's get down our Young Peasy and say go. Okay. Quasi-duplicate. Create a token that's a copy of target creature. Some kind of token deck here. They're going to try to copy a bunch of Agents of Treacherousness. We will have to be ready for that and watch out and hope that we can beat them quickly and effectively. So it's probably a Transmogrify deck, so we're going to really need to keep up a counterspell next turn once they hit 4 mana. With our 4 mana ourselves, it's not going to be hard to do, though, so that's great. That's unfortunate. Now what I want to be able to do here is to flash in the Vandal and then follow that up with a Lofty Denial in case they do hit the Modern Age side with the Transmogrify. And then also if they play a land and have 1 extra, Lofty Denial by itself would not be enough, because if they play a 4th land, they've got 5, which a single Lofty Denial would not. Once they play this Transmogrify, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Ooh, it's actually Luca. Pretty much the same thing. Except that they don't have enough mana to counter Lofty Denial by itself, but we're still going to prove a point and Lofty Denial that Luca. So they get to, if you're not familiar, they get to use his ability, hit the Vector Glider, and then the only creature in their deck is an Agent of Treachery, and it automatically flips out that Agent of Treachery. I guess we'll do this, and then just hope they don't have Transmogrify in hand, because if they do, it's probably an L. Probably an L if they have Transmogrify right now, which they might. It's a 4 mana spell. They exile their own creature. It searches for the next creature in the deck, which, because you see they're getting around it by playing things that make tokens or enchantments that flip to creatures, and then they get to hit the agent. It's pretty awesome. I love Transmogrify decks. It's really fun. Very, very fun. That's fine. We don't mind that at all. We'll go ahead and consider now. We don't really need a mountain. Much rather have a spell. We don't really need a Swiftwater Cliffs, but I guess we'll take it. Don't have an option, do we? No blocks needed as of yet. I do like seeing that Denial. Let's go ahead and put this guy down. And we're just chilling for a minute. This Denial is good. That will help us. This Lofty Denial will certainly help us. Briefcase, another one of those cards that make a token to hit with the Transmogrify. Not too worried about it at the moment. As long as we get an excuse to cast this, that would also be awesome. Okay. I think we have to save this for Transmogrify, because if they hit the Transmogrify, we lose, whereas giving them just a vanilla flying 2/3 isn't really that big a deal. Excellent. What goes on this? Perfect. This makes this a 3/3. We get to attack, and they either have to sack the token to us or let us draw a card. It's probably the smart play. And then we pass. If they Transmogrify the Citizen, we can also hit that with the Play with Fire. They're definitely digging for a Transmogrify right now. Careful Cultivation, great card. Very fun. Ooh. Fable is very good. But I think We just scry and set ourselves up for success here. A Young Pyromancer. I'll probably take another one of those. We're just going super wide board at the moment is really the only play we've got. Perfect. I want my Sprite Dragon getting in there to draw me a card. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Free card draw. And that turns on the Vandal. Awesome. We can go ahead and drop down this, and then we can drop down this, and then we've got Lofty Denial available. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one more land, and we are in a little bit of trouble, because then they would have enough to play the land and block the Lofty Denial into the Transmogrify. Luckily, it looks like they've just got one card in hand. So even if it's Transmogrify, I think we get enough. Now, if he attacks first, then we don't. Okay, now Lofty Denial doesn't turn off Transmogrify anymore. So that's a bit of a heartbreaker. Really need to draw this card, but they're probably going to block me. Yes, they are. Okay. It's unfortunate. We'll hold up a Lofty Denial anyway. Maybe they'll play another Luca. We're gonna get some more shenanigans. It's very good. It's very good. I'm very nervous. Dang it. Oh man, they got it just the right time. We're at least gonna make them pay 8 mana for it and turn on all of our things, make a whole bunch more stuff. But they get to steal the Sprite Dragon and just effectively win. Man, that is so unfortunate. They could steal the wrong thing. Nope, they're taking the Sprite Dragon. That's very smart. I don't really see a way out of this. I guess we just swing in for everything we've got, hope for the best. I mean, I think they just got us, right? I don't see a way out of this one. They've got 6 coming at us in the air. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, since I tapped out, I mean, they kind of just... They've got us on the crackback anyway. And we don't have enough. They have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, they've got us on the crackback. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you try it out. And I will see you in the next one, my friend. Let's say goodbye to our friend Koopa. Peace.